Hi, I'm Rishi. Welcome to my YouTube astrology channel. I have been studying astrology for over 20 years and have been on the internet for about as long. So this is something I should have done a long time ago. But now is as good a time as any to start because there are changes taking place in the cosmic energy of the universe that are going to shake you up and impact your life in more ways than you can know. Rahu transits into Gemini and Ketu transits into Sagittarius on the 23rd of March 2019. And I am here to help you understand how these major transits are going to affect your life. Rahu and Ketu are considered two extremely important planets of Indian astrology. They are nodes of the moon, and they are not always understood by Western astrologers. But we believe that they are amongst the most powerful planets of Indian astrology because they alone have the ability in the horoscope to eclipse both sun and moon. Sun is considered the king of the horoscope and moon is the queen. And these two planets are the only ones with the energy to neutralize both sun and moon. In Indian astrology, we do not look at transits around sun signs. We study transits relative to the birth position of moon. So we look at where moon is placed in your natal horoscope and we try and understand the impact of the transits around that position of moon. Every planet impacts the house it sits in as well as the house it aspects. And every house of the horoscope refers to a very specific and unique part of your life and your destiny. And there are certain houses where certain planets function well and other houses in which they don't function so well. So when we look at this aspect of Rahu and Ketu, we're going to see what houses they transit in relative to your birth moon and what houses they aspect. So I'm going to be looking at all 12 moon signs and I'm going to help you understand how these transits, Rahu into Gemini and Ketu into Sagittarius, are going to affect your life in the next 18 months. Let's consider a horoscope where moon is placed in Gemini. If moon is placed in Gemini in your horoscope, then there is every possibility that the next 18 months are going to throw up a tremendous amount of change in your life. The reason for that is very simple. Rahu transits over your natal moon for the next 18 months. Rahu is naturally considered a worldly planet, a planet of change. It's considered a planet of delusion. It's a planet which brings about a tremendous amount of unsettlement. You feel unhappy, you want change, you want transition, you want new beginnings. Moon is considered the Manaskarak. It's the natural significator of the mind. So your mind is going to be filled with ideas of change. You're going to be dissatisfied with your present environment. You're going to be looking to change everything. You're looking to create new beginnings. You want to just leave behind everything that you have right now and construct a new future for yourself. That's not always a bad thing, but when Rahu is inspiring such change, chances are you're going to be misguided. Chances are that you're going to be pursuing goals that are not natural to you. And that's going to result in defeat, or that's going to result in failure, or that's going to result in a loss to you in some manner or form. Rahu also aspects the 5th house of a horoscope that has moon in Gemini. Now, the 5th house of the horoscope relates to your education, relates to children, relates to romance, luck. We've seen that Rahu is bringing about change. It's going to create a feeling of being dissatisfied with your present environment. And when it impacts the 5th house, it's going to create a similar sort of situation related to the elements represented by your 5th house. So if you're a student, you're going to feel dissatisfied with the stream that you're pursuing. You're probably going to be unhappy about how things are progressing on your academic front. You're going to want to look for change in some manner. You may not be satisfied with the goal that you have defined for yourself, and you may want to create an absolutely new goal for yourself. So there's going to be the idea of change that is going to be very strong, even in your educational field over the next 18 months. If you have children, you're going to find that they are distracted through this time, or they are not focused, or they do not have the intensity in pursuing the goals that are appropriate for their age through the next 18 months. So this is a difficult time for children. There's the possibility that they will go slightly astray, or they're going to end up defining goals for themselves which are not useful for for them in the long run. Romantically, this is also a period where you can have a lot of change and a lot of new relationships which just come and go. Now, it's not fun because it's not going to be fulfilling. So it's going to create a feeling of dissatisfaction, and you're going to be unhappy with how things are progressing on your personal front as well over the next 18 months. Rahu also aspects the house 9th from Moon in Gemini, and the 9th house is the house of destiny. So your entire destiny is going to be impacted. There's going to be the desire for change, as we've said, and you're just going to want to rewrite your entire destiny. Now, I'm not saying that this entire 18-month period is going to be bad for you. I'm saying it's going to be challenging for you. And you need to be watchful, you need to be careful, and you need to ensure that you don't fall into the traps that Rahu is setting for you over the next 18 months. As Rahu transits through Gemini, Ketu transits through Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is 7th from Moon in Gemini. The 7th house relates to marriage, partnership, significant relationships. Ketu is a separative planet. It's considered a mokshkari graha. It's a planet of salvation. It's a planet of liberation. But it's not a very worldly planet. So its transit 7th from Moon is not going to create wonderful situations for your personal life, for your marriage, for your deep and significant relationships. There is going to be the desire to get away from where you are right now. There's going to be a wish to end the current situation and to start something new. We've already seen that Rahu is promoting the idea of change and new beginnings. But these are not necessarily good things for a horoscope that has Moon in Gemini. So when Ketu sitting in the 7th house creates problems for your relationship and your marriage and for your significant partnerships, that's something that you need to be a little concerned about. You need to be careful that you don't allow this to become a factor in your life. The minute you start feeling that sense of dissatisfaction in your relationship or the desire to separate from your partner, then it's important to sit down and talk things through, because separation is not the answer. Separating or breaking up or looking for new beginnings, all of this is only going to create more trouble in the long run. Ketu is also going to be aspecting the house of gain, the 11th house from Moon in Gemini. Now, the 11th house is the house of gain, it's the house of profit, it's the house of unexpected success. Ketu is not very good for this horoscope through this transit, so it's not going to allow for gain to develop. It's going to restrict gain. It's going to make sure that you are not able to profit in the manner that you would like to. Again, it's not a dire situation, but it's something to be aware of. If you are not able to gain the success that you are looking for over the next 18 months, understand that it's merely the nature of your horoscope. It's not about you, and it's not how things are going to be forever. This is just a transit that happens for 18 months. So it's good to stay controlled and disciplined and measured through this time to ensure that the results are not, they're not more disturbing than they need to be. Ketu also aspects the house 3rd from natal moon for this chart. And the 3rd house refers to your brothers and sisters, it refers to your energy, it refers to the name and fame that you will receive, it refers to the amount of appreciation that you will have in your work environment, in your social space, and Ketu is going to create trouble on these fronts as well. So you need to be careful that you don't allow your relationship with your siblings to run into any sort of trouble. Be more watchful, be more wary, be less reactive through this time. If you feel you're not being appreciated, let it go. It's just how things are going to be. This is a period of disturbance, this is a period of change. And this is a period where you need to just calm yourself down and understand that, this is a transit for 18 months. It's not for the rest of your life. This particular transit for Moon in Gemini is going to be a challenging one. It's going to be a transit in which you are going to have to dig deep to find the patience, to find the fortitude to deal with adverse circumstances. And I'm firmly of the view that if you're able to do that, things will be challenging, but they won't necessarily be disturbing or won't necessarily result in a negative outcome. It can be managed, it can be controlled, but it's going to take a tremendous amount of patience. It's going to take a tremendous amount of wisdom and right attitude in understanding that this is the time where you don't need change, you need stability, and doing everything required to create that stability in your life. I would like to mention that these are the results that you can expect due to the transit of Rahu and Ketu into these new signs. But there are 7 other planets that are transiting in the universe at the same time. We have to study those results as well. And we have to study the nature of your individual horoscope, how the planets are positioned there, their relationship with each other, before we can get a complete picture of what can be expected in your life. However, I feel reasonably certain that the results that I have spoken of just now are the circumstances that will attempt to manifest in your lives over the next 18 months as a result of Rahu's transit through Gemini and Ketu's transit through Sagittarius. Thank you for watching my video. I look forward to hearing your comments and suggestions, as well as your ideas about what I should do in other videos that I'm planning up ahead. Do write to me.